Does size matter to a woman? What do women really think about size? Does size matter to a woman at all? And come to think of it, what is the average size? Hi, I'm Michelle, and today we're going to talk about size, and I'm going to be revealing the research that I conducted recently into whether size matters for a woman or not. So I conducted a survey prior to doing this video, and I asked women two questions, and these were the two questions. Does size matter to you, and if so, why? And the second question was, if size doesn't matter, then what does? And so what I'm going to be doing is sharing those comments with you today and the results of this research. And I'm also going to be talking to you a little bit about my own, what I've actually learned from doing this research too. But before that, I had to do some research into what is the average male size, because who knows? So I looked at the research, and the research is really interesting. I'm going to bust some myths right from the word go. There's little to no evidence that size is related to shoe size, nor is it related to ethnicity, race, nor is it related to sexual orientation. So we can bust those myths right from the word go. Now, the best information I found was from Bruce King's article, excellent review, and I've got that listed above and also linked below. So if you want to get the information a lot of the information that I've got for this video, you can refer to that. So the first thing that I found out was that most research has been self-reported. So that means that researchers have asked for like a postal vote to say, what's your size? So really like, how big was the fish that you caught? So it was open to any sort of response from respondents. And you can also imagine that only certain men would respond, and maybe as larger size men. So looking further into this, I actually found the information from the real clinical studies that have been done. And this is when size, and I'm talking about excited size so that I can get this video through YouTube. I'm talking about excited size. Most men think that excited size is this big, so 6 inches, and above. That's what the average male thinks. However, when the clinical researchers looked into actual size and measured it in the clinic rather than self-reporting, this is what they found, and I'm going to show you the difference here. So they actually found that actual size is 5.1 to 5.5 inches. So this is the actual size, but this is where men think excited size is. So in Bruce's article, he actually says that this is leading to some big issues for men in terms of self-esteem, in terms of actually getting surgical enhancements that are really dangerous and not recommended by the American Urological Society. So this is a really big problem that's not well discussed. So now back to my research, which is what you want to hear, I'm sure. What do women really think? So out of the 25 women that I surveyed, and this was a survey of women from 21 years, and I did have one respondent, a bit of an outlier, she was 87 years old. These women were married and unmarried. You can actually read the results or read the description of the survey below, and I'll put a link to that article as well. So the results were overwhelmingly, for women, size does not matter. 21 out of the 25 respondents said no, size does not matter. There was one woman that was sitting on the fence, and there were another 3 that actually said size does matter. Now, let's have a look at their real comments, and then I'm going to share with you my own views of what I've learned from this research, and maybe some take-home messages too, some key take-home messages for you guys. Okay, so let's move to the comments. I'm going to reveal the first comments. I'll reveal the ones that were actually the yes. I'm going to reveal 2 of these comments to you. The first one was, yes, size matters, feels heaps better and more pleasurable. This was a woman aged 56. The second yes was, yes, it does matter. I don't think I'll get pleasure because of society norms. And this was a woman aged 22. The on the fence sitter was, to the question, size does matter, she said, yes, size does matter because it's a lot more pleasurable in a sensory way. But there's a lot more to great intimacy than size. And this was a woman aged 49 years old. Now, finally, with the respondents that actually said no, size does not matter, I've actually had to categorise this because this became evident that there were a certain number of themes coming through to what actually did matter to women. And this is what they said to me. The first theme I'll put under self-confidence and technique. This was a first responder from a 56-year-old woman. Totally, size does not matter. It is the heart that matters, the inside bit. People need to be comfortable with their form. Another one along these lines. No, I've experienced different sizes, and to be honest, the best involves other parts. Knowing a woman's body is what matters, because once that is understood, size does not matter at all. And that was a woman aged 39. Another comment along these lines. If you're big and don't know how to use it, it's pretty pointless. If you're small but know how to use it, it's fantastic regardless of size. And finally, along this particular theme, size doesn't really matter. More important is technique, honesty, and passion. Okay, so we've got that first theme of self-confidence and technique. The second theme was enjoyment, and what mattered to women was enjoyment. And one woman, age 69, says, his size doesn't matter. It's about pleasure and fun, and the average woman doesn't have a tape measure in their pocket. Now, finally, this was quite surprising to me. A number of women actually mentioned physical comfort and discomfort associated with large size. And this is what they said. One woman actually who responded to me via YouTube email, I'm 48. Size matters after a hysterectomy and pelvic floor repairs. I'm shallow. I can definitely not handle anything too large comfortably. And I think this is a really important comment because the major surgery in women is hysterectomy. So we need to think about the fact that large size can be causing issues for women that have undergone pelvic surgery. And let's face it, this is a large number of women. I'll just read two more of these. In terms of physical comfort, no, large size can feel very painful. I experienced that once only, and there's no going back for me. And she was 23. And the last comment is, no, I think men have a distorted sense of what an average size is, and the misconception that larger equals better, when, for many women, large size is uncomfortable and painful. If that's all that mattered, then women would just go straight for the XL size battery-powered devices and stop dating altogether. And this was from a woman aged 34. So I think that's quite revealing, isn't it? I hope you find that information interesting. And again, I'll have all those comments unedited in the link below that you can find in the description. So I think from this, there's three key take-home messages. The first take-home message for most men is that most men underestimate their actual size compared with that of other men. The second take-home message is that for most women, size doesn't matter. It's other things like technique, it's like compassion, enjoyment, and also too for some women, large size is actually painful. Now, my own personal view is that I've been surprised by the information that I've received, especially the information in terms of pain. But I think that if a man focuses on not how he's performing, so focusing on what he's doing rather than how he's performing, and instead stay in the moment, then he really can't go wrong. So I really hope this information helps you understand what women feel is important to them during intimacy. And also I really welcome your comments and thoughts about this issue in the comments section below. As always, I'd really appreciate it if you can like the video below, because then YouTube recommends this video and this important information to other men and women that might benefit as well. So thanks so much for watching today. I really hope you find the content today enjoyable and interesting. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.